back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Jim Merkel. He's the Belfast-based director of Saving Walden's World. It's a film about how women's empowerment and permaculture are connected internationally. Jim, thanks so much for joining us.
It's great to be with you.
So tell us a little bit about this film.
Well, the film really came about in 2015. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and saying, you know, am I leaving my son a better world?
Wow.
And I just had to say no. And I'm not. And I think, person believes the world will be better for their kids, you know. And I'm like, wow, we're really destroying the planet. And I didn't know what to do. So I got this crazy idea to make a film about how we could actually live more sustainably.
Yeah.
And I went off to different societies that really made things really, first off, had small families. Second, had small ecological impact, and third, were really healthy people.
Yeah. Where are these societies? They're in the film, right?
Yeah, they're in the film. So one is Kerala, India, southern state of India, with 30 million people, so it's like the size of California.
Yeah.
The second is Cuba. Who would have thunk? Cuba, right? And then Slovenia.
Oh, cool.
And
so all different corners of the world.
All different corners of the world, and really different societies. But one thread that came out of all this was the status of women in these societies. And women have been more the kingpins of agriculture forever, before men took over,
right,
like agro-business.
Right.
But when you get back to seeds and understanding nature and understanding how to really...
in matriarchal indigenous societies, for sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so these societies actually, one of the threads that came out, the leading edge of how we can really make the planet more sustainable, I think, is through women's rights, women's empowerment, having choices and opportunities. So all the societies had college free for women 60 years ago, where I'm going. Like the poorest family could send their kids to get a PhD, become a doctor, an engineer, you know, a poet, a writer. And so now you have 3 generations of women who've received, you know, some kind of education. And they get into society and really make things work. And if you give a lot of opportunity to men, often the men in these societies will like buy alcohol or buy themselves a new scooter. Like when they get, you know, the women are gonna work toward making the society work for the others, you know? It's just like what happens around the world.
So you just got back from traveling and you showed these films to the people that you studied and did the film on. How was that received in these places?
I was really nervous.
Yeah.
You know, for one, you know, India is such a different society. Like they don't even know the Beatles.
Right.
You know, they haven't heard of the Beatles.
Great
like,
example.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they loved that they were seeing their own society with fresh eyes on the screen, on the big screen. And some people criticized me, the academics, like, wait, you're not showing all the problems.
Okay.
And I said, sure, that's a valid criticism on my film. But if you came to my country, you probably wouldn't criticize everything you see. So I see all their problems in other societies. So everybody has problems, every society.
Totally.
So there's no utopia.
Right.
But I tended to focus on the things we could learn from them. So I'm the kind of traveler, when I travel, like I'll do what they do. Like in Kerala, you're eating your food with your fingers.
Smart travel tip, yeah,
you know,
honestly.
I learned their language. You'll see in the film, I actually practice Malayali, the language of Kerala.
Cool.
But it makes a difference. So I'm not there to criticize, but learn from them. And who would think that a society making 30 times lower income, you know, we could learn something from.
Yeah.
But they're really sustainable, like the most sustainable place on earth.
So Jim, we're running out of time. This is fascinating. I'm really excited to see your film. Where can folks who want to see it go? I think there's a screening coming up, right?
Screening coming up in Unity
Yep.
at the Clifford Arts and Student Center. And I'm also opening a window from Christmas to New Year's and a little after where people can watch it online.
Okay.
And then I'll close it again because we're getting into a lot of festivals. It's been in 15 international festivals so far.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's getting out.
Yeah. So if you want to go to that screening, I'll post this interview on foxbangor.com in about half an hour, and I'll include a link to that screening so you can know when it's coming up. Jim, thank you so much for sharing your work with us.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.